We got a trooper here. This is in Minnesota, Rochester, Minnesota. The trooper's name is Shane Elroy Roper, or the state of Minnesota, state troopers. He kills an 18-year-old girl who's just graduating from high school. This guy's pulling over people with no lights, no siren. The same day this happened, he was clocked doing 135, and he had no lights and siren again. This happened last month. He ended up T-boning a girl going into the mall at 5:45 in the afternoon. And obviously he was in pursuit of somebody. She was turning into the mall. He was going by. It's 5:45 in the afternoon. So, it's right in the middle of the day. It's rush hour. Yeah. And this guy's going 83 in a 40 zone without his lights and siren. This cop, Chase, supposedly trying to catch somebody. And he ends up T-boning this girl in a Ford Focus. And that car hits into a RAV4. 5 more people, 6 people were injured. 1 was killed. The others were severely injured, not the trooper. Now,
he was fine. He was probably drunk or something.
No, they're not saying that, but boy, is his record bad. These patterns of reckless behavior culminated in a tragic claim the life of Olivia Flores. Seriously injured 6 other people, including a ride-along in Roper's car. First of all, who's the supervisor?
Oh, he was showing off.
Who is the supervisor who let this clown have ride-alongs with his record in driving?
I couldn't even answer the school phone because I didn't have good grades.
Don't touch anything.
It's the greatest find yet. Nothing compares to it.
But it's definitely something you should hear.
This is The Real Deal with Larry Lawton.
Welcome to The Real Deal with me, Larry Lawton. We have a great show in front of you today. I am going to be hitting on 2 topics that I think you're going to find very interesting. One with a police officer who ended up killing a girl, and that's what we're going to really hit on. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Derek Chauvin case because I'm doing a video on it. But before I get started, I just want to thank Olivia Cigars, our sponsor right here. They are great, good people. I love them. Just was down there. We got our ashtrays. We have everything, Nick. We're really in good shape now. It's exciting times. I mean, I've been in the office busting my butt, and everything else with what I'm doing. And you too. So we're really getting better at what we do. So now, how you doing, Nick?
Doing swell.
Good.
Nice rainy day.
You like rainy days?
Yeah.
I don't.
Thunderstorms are nice.
No. I mean, you can't get out. You can't go outside. You can't ride. You can't do something like that. You can't do anything for that matter. You're stuck in the house. That's what I just feel. I could never live in a state like Washington.
Like Oregon?
Oregon, Washington, up in the Northwest. It totally is raining all the time.
Or the UK?
Well, I don't know how the UK is. I know our country, and I know how much it rains up there. And I couldn't do it. It's bad enough that, it's people complain when we don't get enough rain, and then when we get too much rain, and nobody's ever happy.
Well, it's hurricane season. So
what about hurricanes?
It's my favorite season in Florida.
Well, your first nice. Your first week here, you had a hurricane, didn't you?
Yeah, it was like my first couple days here.
I hate you for that because you destroyed my my summer spot.
That was fun.
my not summer, my vacation spot over in Fort Myers.
Hurricane Ian.
Yeah, it destroyed my place. Well, okay, let's jump into a case, Vic. Let me tell you what's going on, and you don't know much about it, but I had a very long discussion with our law enforcement expert, who's a guy named Trooper Joe.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what state, but he's a state trooper for a decade. Very, very informative, speaks very well. I could get him on the line when I need him and get information from state troopers. And it's different than a cop. I found that out today. I did not know state troopers have more training, and I was actually impressed with their training that department had. But I'm very disappointed with the Minnesota again. And, I've been on Minnesota just because the Derek Chauvin case and what's going on. This case here is going to blow you away. An 18-year-old girl was killed.
When was this?
This happened last month.
Oh, really?
Yeah, last month. They just charged the trooper with manslaughter. He ended up T-boning a girl going into the mall at 5:45 in the afternoon. And obviously he was in pursuit of somebody.
They were in a mall parking lot?
No, he was going into the mall.
She was turning into
Right, she was turning into the mall. He was going by. It's 5:45 in the afternoon, so, it's right in the middle of the day. It's rush hour.
Yeah.
And this guy's going 83 in a 40 zone without his lights and siren. This cop, Chase, supposedly trying to catch somebody. And he ends up T-boning this girl in a Ford Focus, and that car hits into a RAV4. 5 more people, 6 people were injured. 1 was killed. The others were severely injured, not the trooper. Now,
He was fine. He was probably drunk or something.
no, they're not saying that, but boy, is his record bad, and we're going to get into that. And I asked Trooper Joe about what the qualifications, who's at fault. You're going to be surprised who he says is at fault. And it's not the girl, it's even the guy, but it's the supervisors because they know about this kind of stuff. I'm going to get into his record in a minute. But, whenever I hear tragedies about...
Run it down a little more.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Okay. We got a trooper here named, what's this trooper? This is in Minnesota, Rochester, Minnesota. The trooper's name is Shane Elroy Roper. Trooper Shane Elroy Roper. He's with the Rochester or the state of Minnesota state police troopers. He kills an 18-year-old girl who's just graduating from high school. On May 18th it happened, and May, June, July.
He's a state trooper?
A state trooper, yeah.
I thought they weren't even allowed off the highway.
Oh, absolutely. State troopers. Actually, any of these roads like Palm Bay Road, they're state roads technically, or you'll see them like 528, 520 in Cocoa, all those. But you don't see them go off too much. I mean, they stay in their lane, so to speak. And obviously, this guy's pulling over people with no lights, no siren. Now, I found out from Trooper Joe about what happened. What happened is this trooper's chasing people. He's pulling over people. The same day this happened, he was clocked doing 135. Now,
another officer?
No, with the internal system they have, they can tell. And he had no lights and siren again.
What kind of car?
135. Well, they're probably Chargers or something.
Yeah.
Troopers. You ever see some troopers? Florida has some troopers with Corvettes.
I've seen some of them with like Hellcats and stuff.
Yeah, they have different cars, and they get them from confiscation. I don't know how really comfortable having a Corvette all day would be.
I mean, the Hellcats, they're just the Charger, but
with the bigger engine,
faster,
yeah. Oh man, they got some engines, man. But they get them from confiscations from drugs or whatever, and then they use them for police cars. Do they really need to go 160, 170? No, really.
No,
That's what Trooper Joe was telling me. Trooper Joe he speaks the truth. I love him. I'm not, that's all I'm going to call him by Trooper Joe.
You shouldn't even be going 100, like if you're a cop.
Listen, if you got a murderer, you got to chase him a little bit,
yes,
something like that.
That's a very extreme case, not just pulling someone over for speed.
No, I talked to Trooper Joe about it, and he agrees with my assessment what they really should do for now. Most incidents happen with police, Nick, when they pull over a car, whether it's a young kid has drugs in the car, maybe even a little bit, and he runs, he's scared, or something happens, like I don't have a license, and now he don't know what to do, or he might have one beer, and now he's scared. If a guy is not acting radical, they can take their license plate numbers with their readers and send them a ticket or send them a warning.
No, yeah, they'll show up at your house if you run.
Well, if you run, I'm talking about even if you're not. I don't even think they should be pulling people over for. Listen, if you're on the road right now and I don't use my left turn signal, I'm making a left or whatever it is. Cops behind me, don't pull me over. Click it, give me a warning.
Well, I mean,
or whatever.
that would be so much like harder for them to fight in court. It'd be way easier for us to be like, how would I even known? He's just.
They're
going
to take a picture of it.
I know he's just taking.
They have
pictures.
cameras now on lights and stuff.
Okay, but not everywhere.
No, not everywhere.
Yeah.
No, not. But they do have them,
It just
so they
seems
do
like
work.
very like, how do you even know I was the one driving?
It's not about the ticket to me. It's about why do we need an unnecessary interaction, negative interaction with law enforcement.
But then, if I get some random ticket in the mail, I'm just going to tell them I wasn't driving.
It might not be a moving violation, but it's a violation. Like they can't, like in most states where they have speed in some states.
Yeah.
And if you get caught with that speed, it's not a moving violation. It's a ticket. There's a big difference just the points and your license and stuff like that. I always think they're money grabs. And I asked Joe about quotas, and he was honest. He says it's illegal federally. Federally, it's illegal to have quotas, to have ticket quotas. But they do it. They do it in the auspice of, oh, you're not doing your job. You didn't pull over enough people, so I want to see you pull over people today. Now you're forcing the guy to really either write tickets or whatever you're going to do. And it always happens at the end of the month because they need money. Because these municipalities get money. It might be a small amount, but they do get money.
I always see them out at the end of the month, beginning of the month.
You do?
Yeah.
You know what I don't
it's either
see?
you're a proactive cop and you're going to get all of them done and mess around the rest of the month, or you're like, uh-oh.
Well, I think they'd pick that out. Okay,
Yeah.
for the first 3 days, he works his butt off.
Yeah,
He don't
yeah,
work
yeah.
another day a week.
Yeah. Or the month.
You know what I haven't seen? I don't know. Let me ask you as a younger guy. I don't see many DUI checkpoints, stops.
I thought they became illegal.
I thought so too, but somebody told me they can set them up, but they have to give notice of where they are, when, what
Yeah.
times they're going to be there.
I remember them like stopping around.
Did you
like,
ever have to go
The
through
Michael
one?
Brown case, no.
Would have you?
I wouldn't have known. Yeah, I would have done it.
No, I'm just trying to think. I look at kids. That's another thing that you think, oh shit, the DUI stop coming up. I had 2 beers or whatever. I got to make a turn. And I see you turn.
Yeah,
obviously,
and then they get you for sure. Yeah.
if they get you, and if not, I mean, I think I'd like to do that thing that I watch on the TV.
I might have been through.
Crack the window a little, put my ID up like I'm
No, I don't answer questions.
Yeah, put some of that in the thing. Oh, here you go.
I've seen a couple of them where they're just like, no, you can't see anything. This is totally illegal. Because you're supposed to be able to go from point A to point B in America without having stops like that.
You're supposed to, but no, driving is a privilege. It's not a right. You don't have the right to be a driver.
Well, they were arresting people in the cars too, like the passengers.
Well, that's another
Yeah.
that has the whole different ramifications because you're not doing anything illegal. They legally, in I think most states, I think all states, they can't even ask the passenger
For an ID.
for an ID. No, I don't have it. Mm-hmm. No, what do you do?
That's what one of my friends always did. Nope.
No, I don't have it. You don't have no. I don't have it. What's your name? John Smith. None of your business. Bo. What did I do? What did I do? I'm sitting here in a car. But I've did cases in the law, Nick, where they actually did and pulled the guy's ID, and he's a felon, and now they have access to he's a felon. What's in the car? Mm-hmm. And the guy didn't do anything wrong. He's just associated with a felon, which again, that always tells me, are we really free? But let's get back into my trooper case.
Or when the cop knows everyone in the car already. And they're like, oh, John. They know John's a felon.
Whoa, that's a good one. How do they know you?
Me, they don't know me, but
Well, do you seen it?
Yeah, I've literally been pulled over with someone in the car, and they're like, "Hey, John, what's up?"
Oh, is he a snitch?
Everyone
or was
get
he
out
a
of the
snitch?
car.
Or,
No,
okay.
He's a
He's a screw up.
Hey, everyone, get out of the car now. And then it just gets searched because John in the back seat was in there.
Oh, because they know him, and he's maybe on paper or something.
Oh
maybe.
yeah. Double paper, yeah.
Double secret probation. Yeah. The case I'm talking about again, which the 18-year-old girl done, I'm doing a video on it because it's really tragically. Because here's why I'm doing the video on it, Nick. People have been asking me about this whole case. Check this out with this trooper. This trooper is not the first time this guy's got in trouble here.
Well, yeah, the same day he was doing 130 in his Charger.
That's just when they checked him. But our trooper friend here, investigations revealed that Trooper Roper was driving at extreme speeds, allegedly 83 miles per hour in a 40 zone, without his emergency lights or sirens activated, which Trooper Dro told me that's illegal. That alone, right there.
You can't be speeding without your lights on.
Yeah, in fact, once you attain what you're doing, you have to obey all traffic laws. You don't see cops do that. They're always going 85, like they're allowed to go 85. Yeah. You know what I usually do when that happens? I follow them. On their butt.
I'll be...
Literally,
they don't care.
No,
they don't care,
I've never had them care.
I've passed cops going like
I'm not going to do that. 5 over.
10 over.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
This
care.
guy, so moments before the crash, Roper had reportedly been traveling at an even higher speed, reaching 135 earlier in the day without lights and siren in violation of standard protocols.
Was that on the side streets, highway? Doesn't matter, but...
highway. He was on the highway.
He killed this girl on the side
135.
street.
I don't think he's going side streets, 135.
Yeah. Well, how fast? He was going 80 and a 40, you said. 83
83 and a 40, The criminal complaint against Roper, who is now charged, the guy was charged, against Roper, alleges that he was trying to close the gap with the traffic violator. Big deal. Like Joe told me, Trooper Joe says, Larry, last year, I was literally following a stolen car. and I could have pitted him a few times, and I didn't because I saw a baby seat, a car seat in the back. Didn't see a baby, but he saw a car seat. He did, and he didn't need his supervisor's permission. He didn't do anything. He says, "I'm going to use good judgment and say they already got the plate number." They ended up arresting him a day later, the guy or whatever it was.
And you can also say, "Hey, fellow officer up the road, he's coming." You know.
Yeah, they do that, but again, if you can, of course, create a lot of havoc. And the troopers are a lot different. I found out today. There's so few of them. They have such a big area to patrol.
No, you don't even have to chase him. Just say, "Hey, like."
Yeah,
If you're a mile up the road, don't even put your lights on. Just follow him off the highway. Wait till he stops. Get in front of his car. It's that easy. You know what I mean?
If they want you and you're bad enough. I don't know how much resources are on a traffic ticket
if they're
guy.
already chasing you, they need to stop chasing you and then do it.
Were you the one telling me you were chasing that they just stopped? Was it you?
That was me and my friend. We were on motorcycles. This was a while ago. And
how fast were you going?
Pretty fast. He had his girlfriend on the back, and someone cut him off, and she started going like this and waving her hand as a gun.
Oh boy!
And he called and said that we were waving guns at him. So
who called? The cop?
No, the guy that she was.
Oh, so some like a driver.
Yeah,
of another
a
car.
driver cut us off on the highway, and this was in the middle of the night, and she just started going like that and like screaming at him. You know, she started waving her fingers at him.
Like it's a gun.
He called, said there was a gun. The cops were chasing us for like 10 minutes. And then now
there's a gun involved.
Yeah.
They're thinking,
that's why I was like, because, it was the scariest one because it was so long where I was like, dude, these only last like 3 to 4 minutes every time. And this has been going on. Like, we're going to jail, like, for sure.
Did they stop you?
And then they got close enough to his bike, got his plates, and they backed up.
Oh, you were both on different bikes.
And then they showed up to the house the next day and were like, "You have to come with us because you were running away from the cops." And we were like, "No."
What happened?
Huh? So the cops showed up at the house and were like, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah. He was like, "Okay, you're going to have to come down to the station with us."
Were you there?
Yeah, I was sitting on the couch right there. And I was like, "Oh, shoot."
But they didn't know you at all.
No, I didn't. No, there was no plate on.
You had no plate.
No.
That's my nick.
But he was just like, "No, I don't know. Hold on." And he called his dad right there. Right there. They were at the door, and he was like, "Hey, these cops are saying that I was in a high-speed chase last night on the bike. What should I do?"
Well, who's his dad? A lawyer?
No, his dad's a car salesman.
I call a car salesman.
He's gotten him out of a lot of stuff.
He knows his stuff.
Yeah.
He
goes,
awesome.
"Well, this happened last night?" And he was like, "Yeah." He goes, "So why are they at your house today?" He was like, "I don't know." He was like, "Did they pull you over?" He was like, "No." He was like, "Okay, well, no, you're not going with them. No."
Unless they arrest you.
Yeah, he goes, "Tell them if they need a warrant, then they can get a warrant, but no." And then he said no. The cops left. And then someone called them from the police station. We're like, "We're going to need you here tomorrow, or we're going to, serve a warrant or something." And so they called his lawyer, and his lawyer was like, "Go right in. They did not get you off the bike just because it was you. You had a party last night, and you let somebody ride your bike." He's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Nick, we got to go down." And it's like, "We?"
You ain't going.
I was like, "This is a trap for both of us. I'm not going, no." He's like, "Come on, man. Like, you're not being a good friend." I was like, "What do you mean good friend?"
I'll bail you out.
I was like, "What?" I was like, "I didn't have a plate on mine, and they were looking for me." I was like, "What if I go in there?" And they're like, "Yeah, there's those two skinny white kids." And he's got tattoos all over his body, and he was wearing a cutoff, but he had a helmet. But they go in, "Oh, well, you're going to need to give us the name or else it's going to be you. We're going to charge you." And he was like, "No,
I don't
have
know
to do
who it
any
is."
of that." No, yeah, they took my bike, and
I have no idea
me.
who took. I was at a party. I got 10
Yeah,
witnesses.
it wasn't me. Yeah.
And
So I was like, "Yeah, I'll tell him that there was a party or anything."
And
He
you
got
never
off.
left.
They never called him back. He walked out, and they never called him back.
They try to intimidate so bad. But that salesman, those car salesman, he knew.
Oh, yeah, he knew. He's got him out of a couple blammy charges. And
They intimidate people to the point of, they tried to intimidate people to the point of you either confessing or something.
Yeah, I witnessed.
And
I
they
learned
do.
a good lesson
and
right
they
there.
do.
They had us. I was like, "Wait, but we had helmets on." I was like, "No face, no case is what I heard. So why are they here?" And they're like, we got your license plate. And I was like, oh.
Even if they thought you had tattoos, that's circumstantial evidence that how many other people have tattoos or exactly right.
Yeah,
it was nighttime. Yeah. Obviously, if they think you're going to fight the case or you have the money to fight the case, they're going to do a little bit different. If they think you're just going to buffalo you to get it to get.
Oh, that's exactly what they thought. They thought they were going to come to the house, and then Jack was just going to get in the back of the car. And Jack just called his dad. He goes 1 second and called his dad, put it on the speaker. And his dad was like, yeah, no, you just tell him to leave.
Yeah, it's your house. Do you have a warrant?
Yeah, no warrant.
You have an arrest affidavit?
He's like, okay, just tell him to leave. And
Right.
the cops are listening to the dad on speaker like, oh, dang it.
Damn it, we got the older guy. The kid was coming.
Yeah.
The kid was coming. It's crazy because, me dealing with cops as much as I do, or did, their tactics are really good. Anybody who thinks, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know just enough to say,
Oh, yeah.
who told? Who told that? Who told? And they'll no, it wasn't me, it was him.
There were a couple things burned down when I was in high school with like a group of kids I was in, and every time it like pinned back to me. And the cops,
I bet they were right.
The cops came to school and were like, well, everyone told on you. And I was like, no. It was not me.
Yeah.
They said it was. And I just kept going, okay, well, no,
it's not
it wasn't me. It just
you
was
have to
not
deny
me.
to the end.
No. And I learned that from the insurance, my first accident, where my mom was like, look at the back of the card. In the back of every insurance card says deny accountability. Deny. Even if it was your fault. My first accident, I said sorry, and my mom was like, why did you say sorry to him? Stay in your car. Don't tell anyone you're sorry. And I was like, but it was my fault. She was like, no, it wasn't.
Your mom works for a car dealership, too. Yeah.
She showed me all of it. She was like, no, your insurance does not want you to say sorry. No.
No. Yeah. They want to fight as much as they can.
And it technically was that guy's fault. He was going way too fast.
Did he get ticketed?
No, I said sorry, and I took the blame, like, instantly. I was 16 years old. You know what I mean? And I, like, creeped out from a spot, and this guy, like,
lesson learned.
Yeah, I didn't even, like, I was just creeping out from a stop sign, and he was going, like,
on a bike?
90. No, it was in a car. And he was going, like, 90 down a side street and clipped me, yeah. And it was way more damage than it needed to be because he was going so fast. Like, I didn't even drive. I was just scooting out because I couldn't see.
And he clipped you that bad, going night. Wow.
And it was so embarrassing because it was someone from the high school's grandpa who was like taking all of them home.
Oh my God! And they were in the car.
Yeah, but even the kids were like, "Dude, he was scaring us." You know,
the old man was scaring
you.
Yeah, they do. Some of the old men scare. When I was talking to Trooper Joe, the guy's really a good dude. He's talking to me about training and talking about stuff like that. And I was very impressed with not chasing. Or I was also impressed of the state, his state they're in, not Florida, his state. There's mandatory that if there's any police agency has a shooting, state police comes in and investigates it. So
a shooting between cops.
No, a cop and a civilian.
Yes, cop and civilian. Yeah,
with officer involved shooting.
Yeah, cop involved.
They automatically come in, and that's a law, state law, which is pretty good. Because you think about it, the head of the state police, he answers to the governor.
So there are. So what you've been talking about is cops policing cops. They are doing that.
Well, they do it. But that's a totally different agency. You have to have somebody, like if it's an FBI investigating local, it's still a cop if you want to call him a cop. You have to have somebody who knows what to do. Now, some places have what they call civilian review boards. So if there's a cop shooting in an area, they'll do an investigation. It goes in front of the civilian review board who looks at it as regular people and says, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense, man. Yeah. Why did he shoot his gun? Why didn't he use his taser or what? And besides what a cop is going to say, and that's a pretty good thing, I think. But sometimes they can muddy the waters too because they really don't know what to do and what's going on. But I think most people who have common sense, and Trooper Joe and I talked about that today. I think policing has lost a lot of its common sense. Listen, what's right is right. Like he stopped chasing a stolen car. Big deal. It's a stolen car. It's not a big,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. It's a stolen car. So you get another guy who's
now
all
there's a
hyped
stolen car with a baby in the back of it. Chase him, but slowly.
Well, listen. You don't want nothing. Yeah, and if
Yeah.
it's slow, you don't know. You got to get as much.
Just get a helicopter on him. If there's a baby in the back, just get a helicopter on the car.
Absolutely.
That's all.
And they could do that.
Yeah.
And you're not getting away from a
And
helicopter.
most of these guys are too dumb to even know there's a helicopter on them.
And the only way, maybe in the city like New York, you can go into parking garages and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
You're not getting out of the parking garage
you leave the car.
with the baby too.
Well, hopefully,
Yeah.
you don't take the
That's
baby.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
But no, and listen, I had a little bit more. Since talking to Joe for a while now, I had a little bit more respect. Because I'm seeing a guy who's 36, he's 37. He's seeing a guy who's 37 years old who's got his shit together.
I don't know. That seems like the chasing age. So I respect him.
No, I respect him a lot because he really can. We talk about how he treats people and how he, approaches ex-criminals and even gangsters. Or he was telling me that he actually he was patrolling a major highway in the state he was. It's a big drug trafficking area. And so they would stop, get the cops stopped. And he even said, even stopping them, not everybody's a drug dealer. Not everybody you think is just because you looks it.
It's usually the white moms.
Yeah,
With the kids in the car.
The kid is really full of dope.
The fake kid.
The diaper is all dope.
It's just all dope.
Yeah, but no. So this trooper here that's getting arrested in Minnesota or got arrested in Minnesota. Let me tell you his record. Why? When I said his record to Trooper Joe, he said this guy should have been arrested, and his supervisors should be held accountable. You can't have this many incidents without. And he was telling me how it works, like where they are. One incident. If it's your fault.
Well, how many incidents does this guy have?
Watch this.
Let's get to that.
Okay,
first.
this guy. We're talking about my favorite trooper here. This is Trooper Roper. Trooper Roper, tragic accident wasn't shocked the public. It's not the first time Trooper Roper's conduct behind the wheels come under scrutiny. Personnel. This is what public safety records came out in February of 2019. Roper crashed into another state vehicle while responding to a help call, injuring the other driver and causing extensive damage to both vehicles. For this, Roper received a letter of reprimand.
I might have seen that video. It's like on the highway, and the guy gets out of the car, and one cop stops, and he just like smashes into the back of the other car. If that's him, but I have seen a video like that where two cop cars, it's so frantic, and one cop car stops, and the other one just smashes into the back of them.
Man, it's bad enough on the highway. Can you imagine you got to worry about one of your own guys coming up and smashing you?
Everyone's so like gung-ho, ready, like, oh, let's do this.
Yeah.
And everyone's just not paying attention. Or when
I take that to age. Like you see Trooper Joe, and you even heard him talk, and his demeanor is so much different at 37 than maybe a 25-year-old, 27-year-old cop.
I think like 37 to like 40-something is usually like the prime era for cops to be like, oh, I deserve to be doing this and this.
No. I think it's younger. I think they've been on the job 10 years, long enough that they've seen the bullshit. They maybe been shot at, been in certain situations, seen a lot of death on the highway, especially troopers, man.
I think the younger 20-year-olds are behaving because they have to. And then once you get to that status where you have 10, 20-year-olds underneath you, then you're like, oh, I can go 135.
No, I'm disagreeing. You've been there. You don't want to lose your job. You don't want to lose your pension. You got a wife and kid and all that crap already.
That's like 55, 60.
But you take young kids, I think the initial period when they're on probation and stuff, they're this good cop and haircuts.
Yeah.
Right? Once they've been there a year or two, 27, I got the badge, the gun. Really, nobody bothered me.
2 years? You think they're getting that?
Oh, absolutely. And I know the game now.
Yeah.
I got my own car. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
2 years you get your own car? No
They get it
way.
right off the bat.
No.
Yeah,
that's not right. No way.
I agree.
They
New
shouldn't
York
even hold a gun for like 2 years.
New York doesn't do
Dude.
that,
Yeah.
actually. New York is 2 to a car. There's always 2 police officers to a
when
car.
that all the rioting was going on, it was mandatory 2 to a car in St. Louis. And then when that George Bush stuff was going on, it was 2 to a car for like 3 days.
Oh, you
It
mean
was
just that
mandatory.
department, though?
Yeah.
St. Louis?
Yeah, that.
That's a big department,
the South
though.
Side,
Yeah, that's not a little department.
Yeah, we have like 6 in the city area.
6
We have
precincts.
sections.
6 precincts.
What do
we
they
call
call
them precincts in New
we
York.
call them districts. District 5
District, okay,
is where I was.
Oh, is there one
One to
precinct in
6.
that district?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
It's like
one
a
to
precinct.
I think there's 6 of them. I was in 5. I remember.
Wow, there's so many in New York. I
Yeah.
can't even imagine. I mean, I know of so many precincts that they're every
Precincts?
Wow, they call them a precinct.
I thought they were precincts.
No, precinct. PRESCINT. Precinct.
So
Listen,
what was he chasing this guy for? Do we know? Traffic violation?
Which
or,
one? This one or the girl that got killed?
No, what was the cop chase? Yeah, what was
Whoever got killed. That incident?
he wasn't chasing her though.
No,
He
and
was
it
chasing
just says a violation.
Yeah,
It does
so
not even
he was
say-
going like 10 over maybe.
whatever
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
doing,
yeah.
it's not worth
I don't agree
chasing
with
him.
the chase, yeah.
Especially, when you're talking about rush hour traffic near a mall. I mean, and you're going double the speed limit. Like that's like this
Yeah.
road right here is 35, and you're going 70 down this
Yeah.
road. You're flying, man.
And people who go to malls aren't really the best drivers either. So you
That's
should
true.
be you should be more
Hello,
careful.
ladies.
You should be more careful around a mall
Boy,
than a
if I don't
school.
get any emails from Nick being a little bit of a anti-feminine driver,
Who said that?
I think
who
women
said that
drivers are the
only-
best.
Who said that women only go to malls?
Do you?
Huh?
I never been.
I don't think anyone goes to malls
Yeah,
anymore.
it's true.
You know? Yeah.
They were big when I was a kid. So this guy's second incident. Let me go back to Trooper Roper. 2 years later in May 21, Roper was involved in another crash, this time with a civilian. He failed to stop at a stop sign, collided with a car turning left in the intersection.
Bet he got out and
Right.
ticketed her.
Roper's excuse, he claimed he didn't see the stop sign. This is the trooper. His discipline for this incident
These have to be on dash cam.
listen to this, was minimal. An 8-hour suspension that cost him 8 hours of vacation time. That's what his suspension was for that one.
It's a little rough.
Rough. His third, in December of the same year, Roper struck a deer while driving 22 miles an hour
Why
over
is he
the
still
speed.
allowed to drive?
Listen to this. This is what Trooper Joe's telling me. While driving 22 miles over the speed limit on an icy road.
Number 3.
This is number 3. Again, he was operating without lights and siren and failed to report the incident. How do you hit a deer and not report? Isn't your car messed up?
Yeah.
Another letter of reprimand was placed in his file. So this guy is just, he must be somebody's like son-in-law or some shit. Watch this one. Dash cam footage. Fast forward to now April 23. Now that was December 21. April 2023, Roper was caught driving at speeds over 90 miles an hour without lights and siren.
How long has he been a cop?
Which caused him to lose control and crash into a cable medium divider. His punishment? Unpaid suspension for 8 hours. This guy's getting no licks. This guy had carte blanche. I'm really believing this guy is somebody's. More I read about it, we're going to find out. Now, in 2024, these patterns of reckless behavior culminated in a tragic claim the life of Olivia Flores. Seriously injured 6 other people, including a ride-along in Roper's car. First of all, who's the supervisor?
He was showing off.
Who is the supervisor who let this clown
have
ride-alongs with his record in driving?
I couldn't even answer the school phone because I didn't have good grades.
I wonder if the person in that car during that accident, the major accident, is suing. I'm sure.
I couldn't be in the plays. I couldn't do the funerals.
Well, you were a bad guy.
I couldn't do the funerals. This was all just because of my grades.
You know why I used to do funerals?
And
Because you just get money.
They allowed this guy to have a ride-along. And I couldn't even do extra school activities because of bad grades. That is messed up. That's
Think
not
of this,
cool, dude.
but think of this guy. How many people are suing the state of? First of all, what is going on with Minnesota, with the Chauvin, and then you had the other guy who drove. You remember the guy who drove through the parade and wiped people out.
There's a civilian though.
Yeah,
The
that was
truck.
a civilian. What
Yeah.
I'm saying, what is going on in Minnesota? First of all, policing in
Is
Minnesota
pot legal?
is pot. They need it legal. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what's going on in Minnesota. And I watched the Derek Chauvin documentary called something with Minneapolis Falling
Go
or
on.
something like that. And I'll tell you what, man, Minnesota has some serious policy issues. They're down 380 cops. Who wants to be a cop there? Number one, obviously.
Since when the Derek Chauvin stuff?
Yeah. They've been down that many.
Wow.
So listen to this. So Roper's squad car, despite his history, Roper's record shows a troubling lack of accountability. You think from his supervisors. Nobody is supervising this guy. I got to learn more about him.
Are they friends? They're probably best friends.
I'm thinking he's a son-in-law of somebody. How old is he? How long has he been a trooper? This guy's got some record. Trooper Joe told me there's a thing, Nick, and I'll show you what it is. And it is called a MOPAC. This is what MOPAC means, everybody. It's Municipal Police Officer Training Commission. What it is they have a system in place, and a lot of states have it. I looked it up. That if a cop is a bad cop in Minnesota, he can't come to Florida and just get a job because his number and his name. Because what they were doing, a bad cop would have a shooting, kill somebody, go to another department.
You get like a new ID number.
Yeah, well, he got his buddy over there. Say, we want the shooters here. Come over here, But this guy here, MOPAC, is a really good thing. Trooper Joe was telling me they have that. He cannot believe. He first of all said, and he stands on his word. He says that officer belongs to be indicted for the charge, and he believes the supervisors should even be maybe criminally charged.
I think so. Yeah, he killed somebody's daughter.
Yeah, but how do you criminally charge someone for somebody else's behavior?
Because
I guess
you
lack
let
of,
it go.
Yeah.
It's negligence, isn't it? Isn't that negligence?
I agree. I mean, you have to prove it. It's called deliberate indifference. You have to prove
It's right there.
Yeah, but deliberate indifference is a very high standard. I used to fight that in legal cases. Deliberate indifference means you're the supervisor. You knew he's a bad cop, and you kept letting him be.
Has he been the supervisor the whole time
Exactly.
with the same guy?
Right.
Then,
and how many
then now
people changed?
charge him.
How many people
Yeah.
have changed? How many?
Yeah, if this is the third supervisor, then no.
I mean, the police chief changes. This guy changed. This guy's just going about his job. Crashing.
But if
his
I
car.
find out, and if I'm in this investigation that the supervisor goes to Thanksgiving with this guy, both of you guys are going.
Not
Sorry.
only that, Nick. What should happen if you come to a department? Obviously, if you're a new police chief or new supervisors, wouldn't you want to look at the records of your guys working for you?
Yeah.
And you see this. Excuse me, supervisor, can I have a ride along?
Yeah.
No, you can't even drive yourself.
Yeah, you have to be the ride along.
I'm
Sorry,
wondering
buddy.
how much money this is going to cost. I know there's a life lost and 6 people were injured, severely injured, broken bones, but a lot of bad stuff. Now you take. And you're talking young people going to a mall and getting hit. They're alive. They're going to have problems for the rest of their lives. How much money is it going to cost? It already cost Minnesota. The biggest settlement out of court for a case of a death was $27 million for George Floyd's family. That's what they gave him. $27 million.
It's a good payout.
Jeez, whack me. Take
I was about to
$27
say,
million. But anyway.
Some people were in prison for 32 years, and they're like, "Here's $1 million."
Oh my God! Don't even get me on that. 27 years, Bill Dillon. I had him. I did. Oh, what a sad case. Nice guy. 1.2 million. He was in 27. Totally illegal. The cop lied. The prosecutor was screwing the witness. The whole thing was so outlandish, and that guy got nothing. But okay, listen to this. So, in most troopers places, your first incident you have with an accident, you have to have retraining of some sort. Like with Trooper Joe's department, any little incident, your supervisor drives around with you. You have to go through another course. Your supervisor drives. The second incident, you have
Your
to.
supervisor has to ride along with you, and you have to basically retake a drive.
Yeah, you got to be shown that you're responsible. Whatever you were
Yeah.
doing wrong, obviously only if it's your fault. Here's most troopers, and I looked this up, they are trained. They have training every 3 months for Trooper Joe. Anyway, I'm sure most major departments like that. Not local police don't have that.
Yeah.
They're lucky if they get the academy for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Literally. Trooper Joe, they had to stay in the academy for 6 months, live there.
Good.
No, I'm agreeing
You're
with
going
it.
to war, so.
Listen, I'll tell you what, Trooper Joe opened my eyes to good policing. People say, "Oh, Larry, yes, I always respected good cops because if somebody robs my mother's house or does something to my mother or your mother, I want her to call 911 and get that stupid jerk right in jail. He don't belong to me. First of all, if you got to be an idiot, First, don't hurt civilians like that, I did. So
Just tie him up, guys.
Yeah, just tie him up. Don't hurt them, leave their jewelry on them, whatever you're going to do. Okay. Despite his history, now we're going to keep going. Flores' family's devastated loss, of course, of failure. Here is the biggest thing. They want answers and accountability. The family is so pissed, but they don't sound like I would sound. They don't sound like Ben Crump is the lawyer and they're coming after.
I don't know what any of this means.
Ben Crump, this is the lawyer who's suing the department now. How do we get accountability out of cops? How would you get accountability out of cops? It seems
he's
that
got to go to jail. This is manslaughter.
Yes,
guys.
but I get this case. But even policing in general, it seems that money doesn't bother them because they're not paying it. It's taxpayers' money. I would believe the people. Let's just say, let's take a scenario. You're on Satellite Beach down on the beach side. Satellite Beach Police Department keeps screwing up and it keeps costing the department money. Well, it's costing the taxpayers the money. You have to pay it. At what point do the taxpayers say, yo, chief, you can't supervise anybody. You're gone, and I got to change leadership in this place.
Well, do you vote him in, or what's going on
No,
there?
police chiefs are appointed by the city council. Hired. They'll have like a major search for a police chief or whoever. As far as recruiting and hiring, that goes under the chief. But when they hire the chief, he's hired by the county commission or the city commission.
And you vote them
city
in.
council. We vote them in. So which has accountability, Nick. And here's what I mean by accountability. If a cop there's no accountability right now for police departments who screw up. Yes, people say, well, you're going to make millions. That's good. Don't get me wrong. But what's forcing them to stop doing the stuff or retraining? What would have forced this guy to either be fired or get retrained or so much retraining that you can say, listen, we're really a good department. We really want to help him. He saved 3 babies last month. He saved 2 old ladies with CPR, but he can't drive, so we're going to do something. We're going to make him because he's a good guy.
Well, yeah, the supervisor needs to now be...
He needs to be fired.
He needs to be fined, fired, or, every supervisor needs to be worried about everyone on their staff. And sorry if, whoops, it's not the supervisor's fault this time, but it's still now your fault every time.
Because you're getting paid more for that. And here's where I think they should do something. I think if they start costing police officers their pensions and jobs, maybe that will stop them for a second. Maybe. Listen, you got a cop who's on a job 20, 18 years, and now you wait a minute, I'm not losing my pension. I'm not going to do something stupid, which you shouldn't.
Or fine their pension, too, like the supervisor. Fine his pension like $15,000.
Oh,
sorry,
wow.
buddy. Fine their pension. Don't fine their pockets.
Wow, that would be deep. I don't know if that would even be. That's a different approach.
The supervisor needs $15,000 out of his whatever he's going to get.
He needs more than that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the families are here. The Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson and Governor Tim Walz have gone unanswered. Let me explain something about Tim Walz. Tim Walz is now running for the vice president under Kamala Harris. How much is this dude really paying attention to what's going on in his state?
Oh, he's from Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota. He's the Minnesota governor. He should be booted. In my mind, listen, this disqualifies him. In my mind, you cannot manage your state police. You can't manage your state police. Somebody's got to hold it always goes to the top.
That's a pretty good argument for the right side for Kamala and her team. Is like, hey, you guys remember George Floyd? Yeah, you know who's in charge.
How about this? How about this incident? How about this guy right here?
Yeah, and then now you can just point this out and the other ones.
I don't know if he was the governor then, but he's governor now during this incident. And I don't know where he's not up in arms. He's supposed to be very for the people and all that. I'm not seeing that. And listen, calls to Tim Walz have gone unanswered. The family's pleas for a response from the department have gone unanswered. That's wrong, Nick. I can't believe they're letting that happen. I mean, it's just wrong. I mean, you got so many others left wondering how many more warnings were needed before the action was taken against Trooper Roper. At what point, Nick, You tell me at what point does this Roper actions, be done? How many times?
Well, yeah, after the second, you get one and then one more. Three is you're out, I'm pretty sure.
Again,
right?
as Trooper Joe told me, one time, an incident, you have to go through like a course, and then the next time, I think it's the supervisor signing it. Third time, you're fired. You're gone.
Yeah, you're out.
He said this guy would have never lasted, obviously. But what I'm really looking at here, and it's kind of pissing me off, because this happened in May and June, and now it's already 2.5 months later. Why has not the governor addressed this situation
They're short
publicly?
on cops.
You could be short on cops all you want. You should address the public.
Yeah.
Stop this. People want answers. You could like Grady Judd or not. Grady Judd is a sheriff here in Polk County, Florida, who, listen, he says it like it is, but he's not scared to get in front of the mic and say whatever he's going to say, and he keeps you updated. He'll say, listen, today's what the information we got. It might be tomorrow. In fact, it probably will be different tomorrow, but I'm giving you what I got now.
Yeah.
How doesn't the governor answer this family?
Oh, they haven't even answered
Not
him yet?
responded. So far, the families,
What?
listen, so far the families pleased for a response from the Department of Public Safety Commissioner, Bob Jackson, and Governor Tim Walz have gone unanswered. That is what's got me mad now. How do you have a government if you elect these people, or not the commissioner, but the governor for sure? That governor should be out there. And now this guy's got the guts to run for vice president? Who vetted this clown? Who vetted this clown? Who vetted the whole clown? Who vetted Kamala Harris? Oh, boy. That's a bad topic. Right this second, we're not doing that. Anyway, the case has drawn significant public attention and controversy. Many, many people are outraged, questioning how law enforcement could exhibit such reckless behavior while on duty. That doesn't shock me. You're going to get bad apples. You have 100 cops, you're going to have a bad cop. I don't care who you are. You have 100 employees in Harris. You have 100 employees at Amazon, whatever. You got bad employees. They're shit. They're stealing. They're doing whatever. Every organization has 100 or more. They say you're going to have bad apples. That's why, Nick, you have to have supervisors. And that's why those supervisors have to spot the bad apples and get rid of them. This is the incident that makes all state troopers look bad, and here's why. You can't even police your own people. You can't police your own people. How much money did this guy cost the state already? He goes through and hits somebody, a civilian. He crushed cars.
There's got to be dash cam, right? I want to watch this.
This guy should be his own channel. He should start a YouTube channel. Maybe that's
Dash
his new
cams,
career.
yeah.
Maybe My Stupidity right here on YouTube, and it goes for 20 years. But it's really crazy. This is what's fueling anger. And listen, Minnesota's cold. They must stay in all the time because they don't. We know they burned the whole town down during the George Floyd riots.
Well, it's not cold in the summer, so
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
Well, my point is, like, we're always out. In Florida, you're always outside. People are always out.
Yeah.
People go in. I don't know if they're paying attention to what's going on. But why is it Minnesota's policies? Is it Minnesota's top, literally from the governor to the commissioners? Should they mandate police departments have specific policies? They should. In my mind, you have to hold these people accountable because there's civilians dying. What I told Trooper Joe, Nick, and I think you'll agree with this, cops have to be held to a higher standard, and here's why. That man, a cop, tried to arrest you. He could do it under the color of law, be legal, even if it's wrong.
Me?
I'm talking about with the incident with the motorcycles. Cops can arrest you or detain. Look what they did to you once. Didn't you tell me you once were detained for like 2 hours?
Yeah, it was cold too. Yeah.
I mean, you were literally, that's detaining for 2 hours.
Yeah, but at the time, one, didn't know the law. Two, I thought they had every right to because I was on a motorcycle that did not have any plates. I didn't have an ID on me.
Well, they could have. They could have confiscated it right there.
But it was mine. It wasn't stolen.
I know, but
and the only reason I pulled over is because I had a friend on the back and we were going to somewhere.
Have you ran from police before?
With someone on the back?
No,
never.
have you run period?
No. Allegedly, sometimes.
Allegedly? Have you allegedly ran from police sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. I did. Of course I did. No, I didn't really.
Like I
did
said, like the one time I stopped on a bike was because I had a friend on the back, and I'm not gonna do that with someone.
Did you
on the
think
back.
about going through like a cemetery or something?
I have on my dirt bike. That's how you get away.
That's you, but I mean,
dirt
even with
bikes.
somebody, you could take somebody there. A cop can't take you to the cemetery
I'm not doing anything. I don't like people on the back of my bike.
to begin with.
Yeah, and then just that one
Yeah,
time.
you won't even ride on my bike.
Yeah, that one time we were just going like 3 blocks down, 3-4 blocks down. So I was like, we'll just we'll just go. And I got pulled over. So, but yeah, no, that's why it's so easy in St. Louis. If you have a dirt bike or even a bike, we have a park on every single street. You just cut through a park or cemetery, either one. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you mean there's a lot of parks and a lot of
Parks and yeah, dude, yeah.
What a waste of good real estate cemetery. But check this out with this cop. You read his case. You read his history. You know he's on paid leave. So that means he's getting paid. He's sitting home getting paid.
Oh.
For 3 months so far. Paid. Nice check. Don't have to work. Don't do anything. What do you think of that?
No.
I'm not a fan of that, but I understand
Not a
it. Because you
chance.
can't. What happens if he's innocent? You can just take the 4 days.
He's not.
Well, in this case, his past is bad.
Okay,
I
then
think
back
this-
pay him. Then back pay him. How about that?
Yeah, but he has to live, Nick. What are you going to let him go bankrupt?
Back pay him.
How
Yeah.
many? 4 months?
Yes.
6 months?
Yeah. Okay.
Come
Sorry.
on. I'm a believer that I don't know what to do. I'm not saying I have an answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think the supervisor should be unpaid, booted, and that maybe will open another supervisor's eyes.
Oh,
Hey,
the
wait a
pension
minute.
thing.
I like the pension thing.
gotta find
But
their
listen,
pensions.
they're not even, forget pensions. They're paying the guy right now.
Yeah.
He's on paid administrative leave. Now, I understand whenever there's an officer involved shooting, Nick, they usually have, what do they call it? They usually have paid leave till they find out who did what and whatnot. They don't want the guy out there. He might have snapped or whatever. They pay him for X amount of time. I don't even know if they have to do anything. I'm going to ask Trooper Joe the next time I talk to him, if you're on paid leave, are you literally home or do you have to come in and maybe work a desk job or something like that, Because I'm not a believer in just, give him pay, let him go home. No, how about
make him push paperwork.
how about I'm like fill gas tanks at the station yard or some shit. Do something.
Make
It's
him
like
push paperwork. Yeah, for
something.
sure.
You know what I mean? I totally believe. Now, on this case,
Go train with the rookies.
yeah, he needs it.
Yeah, go train with
But
the rookies.
I wouldn't even waste my time training the guy. I mean, if this guy should have been gone a long time ago.
Yeah.
And the question I have to ask, because we're coming close on this one, is do you think by any chance this case is systematic? Do you know what that means? Systematic means it's not anybody's, it's part of a system that's set up wrong.
No. This is for sure his fault. And one other person's who is the supervisor.
Well, if it keeps happening with all these incidents in Minnesota, doesn't it come to systematic? Maybe they're not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That nobody's getting any repercussions for what they do.
For what they do, right.
Because they don't. It's like, why are you firing teachers? You can't fire teachers. You can't fire cops. Nobody
the
wants to be
union-
one.
Well, no, you can't. Well, you're right. I mean, it's a shame.
No one wants to be it.
Well, let me get back to this, and I might raise a few eyebrows. I think cops should be paid a lot more money.
Well, yeah,
a
and
lot
teachers,
more money, and
yes,
teachers
yeah.
a lot more money. I think a cop should be paid $100,000 a year. People go, what do you mean? He should not have to look at the car that he's stopping and saying, I need to steal those drugs to feed my family.
Until he gets a violation. And
He's
now
gone.
It gets kicked down to 70.
No.
One more.
He's
Yeah.
gone.
Oh, one violation.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I meant. Like Trooper Joe said they did.
Yeah.
If-
Third violation, you're gone.
You're gone.
One, now you're making $60,000 a year. Second, now
No,
you're
because
making
then he's going to
40.
really screw up automatically.
Yeah.
Here's what I think happens is if you paid a cop $100,000 a year, one, I think you could hire better cops, obviously, because it's a decent salary. They can afford to feed their families, and raise. Some of them want to be good guys. I mean, I get that, but they get jaded in the
If you
system.
take away the paid leave, you could probably afford paying all these guys that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, just let's put them on administrative leave and pay him for 5
Or
months.
pay, homie over there that's been doing great his whole life.
There's so many
more.
ways states can really, get the money for that. I really can. There's a lot of ways. Put a couple of tolls up, like New York. And again,
Now we're just going into
No. We're just talking about money.
Fix any of this.
You
Because where's the
can't.
toll money going? Not the streets.
Well, we know corruption.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, but no, also teachers. But we're on cops. If cops see every cop out there, if I'm a cop and I hear that the cop, hey man, he saw $500,000 in a trunk and he got caught taking half of it, I don't hate him.
No, I don't either. No,
Listen, I would do that.
they did that to one of my friends.
I would do that. In fact, if I was the criminal, I'd say take it.
Yeah, they stole 11 grand from him.
Oh, they took money from me too when I got arrested with all that
Oh,
money.
I would
in
have
my
stole
glove
your
compartment.
diamonds too, dude.
Not
if I
my
was a
diamonds.
cop,
It
yeah.
wasn't my diamonds. It was my
your
cash that
32
fell
grand.
out of my grand. Do you remember when the 35 grand came out of my
And
glove
if I was a
compartment?
cop getting paid bad, yes, I'm taking it too.
And you know what? I would have been okay. I actually had to be okay. I wasn't because they screwed me anyway. I mean, getting me and going back and forth with lawyers from Florida to Jersey. But in this case, Nick, if you paid every one of these cops a good enough salary, I think you could hire better. I'm hoping. I think you could hire better, and I think you could retain and maybe give them more training. And with the right kind of cop, with the right training, I think you could have a great department. I know it. Lake St. Louis.
You should also have to go to college and school.
I'm not buying that.
No, I am. I totally
Not
am.
college. I think
No,
maybe
a type of you should have to go to an actual school with books and tests, not just like
for law, like like what I'm talking about.
These guys should be like almost lawyers,
in fact,
and if they're good enough, now they can be a lawyer even easier.
It's true. But what I proposed this to a lot of people, and I mentioned it to Trooper Joe today. I think every single cop should carry the Bill of Rights, the 10 Amendments, the first ones, 1 to 10. Not even you don't even need them all. You need the First Amendment, freedom of speech. Second Amendment, right to bear arms. You don't need the Third Amendment. Fourth Amendment, yes. Seizures laws.
Every 2 months, they need to be taking a
Fourth
law
Amendment,
test.
the Fifth Amendment. Right to take the Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, and Eighth Amendment should all be in a
Just how about
cop's
all
on a
of them?
piece of plastic.
All of them.
No, because you don't want to boggle his mind with bullshit about like the 13th Amendment was when prohibition, or 20th Amendment was a prohibition. You gotta give a shit. The cop knows about that. But I want him to know my rights, so when he violates them, I can make more money.
Yeah, they were on you, weren't they? Couldn't you just go back to your little note card, buddy?
Yeah, well, listen, he should if he's even questionable.
Yeah.
Take it out and say, wait a minute, this guy's got... You know why I say that? You and I watch these tapes
Yeah, the
with
audits.
the First Amendment auditors. You would think these cops would be smart enough.
If you got a camera, if this guy's wearing a GoPro, he's got a gimbal, a tripod.
And nice stuff.
Yeah, it's all in your face. You should probably back up.
Yeah, he
little
knows
bit.
what
Yeah.
he's doing. He's not...
Just because it's a black man,
Right,
you should still probably back up.
Absolutely,
dude. Yeah. These
man.
cops are so... Yeah, we say it all the time. Dude, how many cameras is this guy holding? And he's like poking you. Stop being poked.
I told chiefs, whenever I talk to chief of police, I says, do you guys ever tell your officers that this is now mandatory? I want you to go to this channel and watch this.
Oh, for sure. They need to be hip on all these auditors.
Because all you have to do to beat an order, hey, have a nice day, guy. Enjoy. Do you need me to walk you somewhere? No? Have a great day.
Yeah.
And he pokes at you, say, have a good day. I
And
gotta
that's
go
what
save
they're good
someone.
at is poking. And these guys are very
And
sensitive.
I don't mind that they do.
You shouldn't
People
be
say to me,
sensitive. No.
oh, they shouldn't poke the guy. No, now you're giving the cop an excuse to be an asshole,
Yeah.
even or say he was poked. No, he should have that restraint and he should have that internal fortitude to say, this guy's playing with me. I'm going to win.
Yeah, it's not illegal to cuss at a cop.
But you ever see some of these cops get so, you can't do
they
this to
get
me.
So mad. And then I like when the supervisor has to come up and be like, you need to go over there, cop. Like,
He's right.
Yeah.
I love those. He is right.
Excuse me. He's
You know,
right,
there's
yeah.
at least some supervisors are getting it. Like,
Yeah.
listen, if I'm a supervisor, I'm one of
And
my
they
cop
are the
calls.
younger ones that come up. They're usually the younger ones that are
'Cause
like, dude,
they're
you need
watching
to chill
YouTube,
out. Yeah,
man.
you're getting got. This is a prank.
Oh, and then they think, no, they can't. We put a sign here.
Yeah.
Your sign don't mean shit. It does not trump the First Amendment,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Nothing trumps the First Amendment.
Yeah, I like when they go.
Obviously,
into
there is particulars like you can't scream fire in a movie house because
Yeah.
now you're pushing your rights onto
Yeah.
other people's safety. So you can't do that.
It's inciting a riot.
Yeah, it can be a lot of things. But right, I mean, you'd think some of these cops would just be a little bit smarter and say, wait a minute. He's trying to get me, man. And now, you know how bad they look on. Now, you got to remember, when that guy puts that up, he's got to be in his head saying, oh, I got this idiot. That guy's going to look stupid in front of a lot of people. There's no getting away from it. And it doesn't come down, Nick.
And it's got sponsors on it.
Yeah, some guy go, oh, I want that one. That guy's real stupid. I want that video. And I don't think that. Anyway, I'm going to be doing a video on this case, Nick. I think it's very important. I mean, that we highlight these kind of incidents. It's going to be a short video.
I don't believe in chasing, if you haven't figured that out. I don't think cops need to be chasing anyone.
I don't either.
It's so dangerous.
I think cops need to be more about the protect and serve instead of the, arrest and get.
You guys aren't detectives, all right? So
not everyone.
Chill out.
No, my point is I think they should really worry about protecting you, just like I told Trooper Joe, and this happened to him. If I'm a police officer and a lady talking to me wherever and says, listen, my son's acting crazy. He's out. Can you check his room? And you find something in there. Don't arrest him. Do not arrest him. Do not arrest him. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he has no right if it's a friend talking about asking a friend. What?
Well, you'd be surprised how many cops will come to even if it's not
if a cop came to some random person's house, they're still calling the police.
Gotcha.
Don't call the cops.
Wait a minute.
Kids.
Hold on. Here's where we're going to disagree. If you have a good report, any report, if you believe your police department's a positive police department,
then you should go up to them. Don't go up to the police department. Sit down with someone.
Absolutely.
Don't call 911.
No.
That's what I thought you were saying.
No. I never said 911. But if you met the cop, he's doing his beat or whatever. And I'm a believer in beat cops. I think they should have more beat cops.
What does that mean?
A beat cop's a cop that's walking. Like New York City, you see them all walking the streets and stuff.
I mean, you can't have that here.
Why? Here's where I think you're wrong.
You can have it downtown,
right?
Like a main street,
or even down. What about like in Malabar Road? I think they should have one cop that walks from the Lowe's all the way up to past Walmart and talks to the owners, maybe talks to the employees.
Okay, then put them on a bicycle.
Or a Segway or something, because the people would get to know him. They know things happen, and I think that's the best use of a resource. You wouldn't need a car.
Put him on an electric bike,
electric bike or a Segway or something like that, where he can actually start. Maybe a woman would want to be walked to her car because she didn't feel safe, so you can do that, or you can start becoming part of a community in that one stretch.
And that's what happens on your first time hitting something in a vehicle. Now you got an electric bike.
No, he don't even get it. But this guy, no, he'll hurt someone with a bike.
I'm saying on his first thing.
Listen. I don't know what this guy's...
Because you know how embarrassing that would be, going back and taking it at the locker rooms, being like, hey,
but
dude.
New York has electric bike cops.
No, what I'm saying is like, here in Minnesota, when you had a squad car for 3 years.
Yeah, taken away.
Just taken away.
Give me the keys.
And now you have to go...
Daddy.
Yeah, you have to go back to the locker room with all your
son,
your boys.
I want the keys.
Yeah.
You're suspended for a month. Get on a bike.
Yeah, how much shit would you give me if I got my bike taken away from me by the cops?
Oh, I would love it.
Yeah.
I would be worth the money of the bike.
Yeah, it would be a good lesson for me too. You know what I mean? If I was now had to be put down to an electric bike, be like,
my God, that'd be funny as hell.
Yeah.
But
cops are busting balls all the time with each other. Yeah.
In New York at least. You seen all the cops on the streets, in the subways, and everywhere. Nick,
yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere, on foot.
They were pretty cool too.
Yeah. Oh, I
was drinking, one of those big 40 White Claws, and
in a bag.
It was in a bag, and he goes, "Can't even be in the bag." He was like,
like joking,
yeah, he knew exactly what I was doing, but
he said like that.
At first it wasn't in a bag. And then he was like, can't be drinking out in public. And then he came back around because, he was doing his rounds. And then, because I put it in a bag and he was like, can't even have it in a bag. He was just messing with me.
Was he laughing though?
Yeah, I mean, but if he pulled back around a third time, he probably would have got out and done something. So I finished it and I threw it away. Yeah.
I notice cops in New York and I really respect them a lot. One, where they are, how tough it is, the foreigners.
And they can make fun of you too.
Oh, they have fun.
Yeah.
Cops are fun in New York.
I like when I see them on, cops in New York.
Because you know what it is? They're told to be community oriented, have fun. You got to remember,
basketball.
all of those cops are dealing with a lot of tourists and a lot of money. I mean, you go down Times Square and all that.
Yeah, I could be a tourist who spend a lot of money. That's why he was like, hey, dude, put it away, And then he was like, even in the bag.
Yeah, I mean,
He gave me every chance.
I go there now as an older guy. I never get harassed. I mean, they think, I get harassed more by the stupid the characters in Times Square that want to take a picture with me. Batman and Spider-Man. The guys.
Those are so annoying.
They're so crackheads. You see them too? I once got a pig for somebody. I don't know what it was, and he smelled so bad. I had to get away from him.
That's awesome.
I said, "Jeez." Yeah, they used to have the naked cowboy. You heard about him?
No.
They have a guy down there. You can still look him up. You're gonna have to Google. Anybody out there, you could Google this guy. It's called the Naked Cowboy. He is in Speedos and a guitar in the middle of the winter. I mean, literally, and he's got the flowing hair, the white cowboy
makes
hat.
A lot of money doing.
He's been on like the shows and people.
Yeah.
He's like a staple down. I don't know if he's one. He is one guy. He was for a while, and they called him the Naked Cowboy.
He should have branded it and started hiring.
I'm not sure he didn't.
Stud models.
Yeah, he's getting. He was flabby at the end.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's like a pimp. Putting these guys on the corners and Speedos. Like, where's my money?
Well, they need to do something like that in Minnesota. Maybe more beat cops. They can't even find cops that's such a problem. They can't find cops. Who wants to be a cop? I mean, really.
If it keeps going down this road, people are gonna have to start
defend themselves. Yeah. Well, it's like that in Florida and Texas. You ever want to listen to Joe? Oh, everybody's got a gun. Everybody's nice. Sure. Walk into a store and be an asshole. Bam.
Yeah.
And go to Grady Judd's area. I bet there's nobody there worried about it. And they walk right, tell them to shoot them.
Yeah.
But that's what happens.
Don't mess with people's property.
I wanted to open that case up just to give. What do you think of this case to begin with?
I'm heavy. I'm standing strong that I don't believe you should be chasing people for absolutely nothing.
Because of that. That's one main incident that just killed. It just destroyed.
Now, if you guys finally busted, the mass murderer on the loose, then get a helicopter on him. Don't even.
There's no reason unless there's somebody shooting, an active shooter they call, like in a theater or something like that. You got to do what you got to do. But when you're dealing with people that the cops create more problems than the people.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
A 3,000-pound vehicle traveling at any type
80
of speed
miles an hour
on side roads is never going to end good for anyone.
And the cop don't even have his lights and
Even
sirens
cops,
on.
yeah.
I mean, but he don't even.
He wasn't chasing anyone.
I agree with you. I think he was just going.
Oh, no, it does make sense. No, he said he was closing the gap, so it does make sense he didn't have his lights on.
Really closing?
No,
the
they
gap.
do that though. I've sped past.
It's illegal to do that.
I know, but here's the thing. If you're on the highway, okay, and I
still think it's
speed
illegal.
past you in a car going 120,
bing, he'll light him up.
I'm getting away every time.
Listen, what you just told me.
Yeah.
Helicopter.
Yeah.
If you really want to.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? They do that as a strategy, because if you were in your
not a
Mercedes
strategy. You could
going
say that.
140, Larry, and you saw cop lights
Oh, I hit the pound. I hit
dead
that.
stop.
I hit.
I've
done that.
You don't stop. You're getting away.
Oh, totally.
Like that cop now has to get up to your speed.
Oh, I remember once I was on Alligator Alley, which is two roads, right? And there's a medium. Yeah. There's 2 lanes this way, 2 lanes this way. And I'm going 90. This is Alligator Alley. Everybody goes 90. It's like, it's nothing but 2 roads in the middle of the Everglades, literally. Back in the day, in the 60s, they had a lot of head-on collisions. That's why they made it too, because it's a very desolate road. It's through the Everglades. Anyway, I'm coming back from Fort Myers. Matter of fact, I was coming back from casing a store, and I was in my vet, and I'm traveling about 90. Nice cruising vet. I used to travel it every day, actually, to go. I lived in Fort Lauderdale, but I was casing a place. That's how dedicated. I mean, literally 2 hours each way. Anyway, I'm traveling back 90 miles an hour in my vet, and I'm just going. And you go and you see a car, you see the cop, and you look in your rear view, you see the brake lights, and you see the lights, and he starts turning. Bam! I punched that thing.
Yeah, that's why they don't turn them on.
And no, he could have stopped. At the end of each thing on Alligator Alley, there's a toll booth. You'd think they would just call ahead and say, stop this guy,
Oh, they could do that, yeah. That's way smarter.
They would have, but
just don't let him by.
Never saw him again. Yeah. I mean, like you said, there's not a... I
No
ended up going
chance,
155.
dude, yeah.
I mean, I was one of the fastest I've been in my car. I was 154 or something like that number because it had the digital. I was flying so fast, Nick. I was passing cars like they were standing still. I mean, it was almost freaky because if a car ever went like this, that plastic vet is going to be disintegrated. But there's no way, like you said, he could slow down or whatever, and he'd have to pop 200 to just to try to get me. Yeah. And he just gave up. But
maybe they need like lights down low so other cars can be moved.
I'm not wanting to say, listen, what's really that important? Like you
No,
said,
I mean,
you even said to me earlier.
I think if a car is going at 150 miles an hour, they somehow need to be, you need to call a helicopter on a car going 150.
Then they better do it every day on 90. You know how
that's what I'm
fast they
saying.
travel on
I know.
95.
I mean, they don't get caught every day, but
you know what I mean.
if
95.
a cop wants to do something about a car going 150, you need to call a helicopter.
I got caught by an airplane.
Or don't do anything about it.
I got caught by an airplane.
But then again, if they don't do anything about it, and that car half a mile up kills an entire family, then what? Because the cop saw him. He saw him.
Yeah, but chasing could have exasperated it. So I disagree.
Yeah, I
with
know.
you.
I'm all on with you too.
And I think the law even states. I
So,
mean, that's why most cities
like,
and
bikes-
states don't have. They have no chase laws.
Bikes going 200. I haven't heard of many families getting killed from that. Just the person, which is okay for me.
There isn't a chance a cop can catch that motorcycle. Ever.
Yeah, but they do it, and it's for fun. That's why I'm like, why are you doing?
You mean the
that?
cop will do it for fun?
Yes.
They'll chase a guy at that speed for fun.
Yeah, you just
That cop
watched it the other day.
That cop should be. That cop should
Yeah,
be. That
they
cop
do
should
it
be this
all the
guy.
time, dude.
Then he
Yeah.
should be this guy.
I had someone that wasn't even in a marked car, no sirens, and he was a cop. He flashed stuff at us, and he chased us through a cemetery. He chased us.
Tearing up people's lots.
He was up. He was up on the sidewalk chasing us.
I said over people's graves.
He was on trails
now
chasing
that cop
us.
should be.
Yeah.
That cop should be booted.
And he was like red. He did not have a good day, dude.
And he didn't get you.
No, but he was scary because it was
He would have beat the shit out of you.
Big, it was a big black SUV, and then all of a sudden he comes from the stop sign and then just gets up on the sidewalk and starts chasing us. I was like, whoa, dude.
Well, I think we're going to end on that note, Nick. No more chasing it. Anybody out there, let us know what you think. We're loving this. Have a great, great day. Please stay safe, and we're going to keep this content coming. Have a good one, everybody. Larry out.
Nothing compares to it.
But it's definitely something you should hear.
This is The Real Deal.